wanted to talk really quickly about the difference between intuitive writing and automatic writing. Actually, I don't know if it'll be quickly, but I do want to discuss the difference. When I was a teenager and I would write, pen in hand to paper, my penmanship would get all over the place. So I'd be writing one way, it'd be slanted, and then it would come the other way. And I really felt like I was fighting myself to write. And I used to wonder, like, what the heck is wrong with my penmanship? Why can't I decide one way to write and just write it? Everyone else had a really distinct way to write. My sister would, have her pretty penmanship and it always looked the same every time. And then there was mine. I always thought if someone analyzed it, it would probably look like a serial killer because I heard that you could analyze and you could see like people can't make up their mind or something when they write, and that's how mine was. But I didn't know at the time, and much, much later when I was going through an awakening and having a stronger awareness of what was happening when I wrote, I realized that I was automatic writing. So, automatic writing is this idea that spirit, or well, I would say spirit, can come through you and actually physically write and take your hand. So, in my case, I think my penmanship was going all over the place because I didn't know how to have a connection to one spirit. So I actually think more than one was writing through me. So one's like, hey, we're going to write this way. The other one's like, we'll write this way and this way. I didn't have a true one voice with my writing. So automatic writing is that idea that something is coming through and physically helping your hand write. Now, because I wasn't comfortable with that, once I started understanding about automatic writing, I learned how to set myself up. I learned how to put on my protective boundaries, but I just didn't feel like that was something I wanted to do. And I have nothing against it if it's working for you, but to me, it felt a little like a Ouija board or something where you're communicating and it's coming through and telling your hand what to do. And even though I felt really called to write and give information and have writing come through me, I didn't want something physically taking my hand. That's when I discovered intuitive writing. And for me, and the reason I want to tell you the difference is because it made me feel a lot more comfortable. So, what intuitive writing is you yourself, so me, Nicole, in my body, in control of my fingers and keyboards, all those things, but I reach up and I get more information. So I'm connected to, say, my higher self or a collective consciousness, and I hear that information through one of the clairs. In my case, I'm clairaudient, but you could be just know the information and bring it through, or you could sense it, all those different things. But I reach up and then bring that information down. So nothing physically types for me. I just stay clear and can write really clearly, really quickly, because that information is intuitively coming to me. So the difference in my mind is automatic writing, you kind of clear yourself as a vessel and allow something to write through you. And intuitive writing, you still clear yourself, but you connect up and allow the information to come to you, and then you bring it through. And you either write by hand or on the computer, or artists do this. You could paint the picture that you saw once you brought the information through. I imagine songwriters, singers, all kinds of intuitive ways you can bring it through. But you're connecting up like a channel, like a tube, and you're pulling the information down and in. And some people even believe those thoughts are put into collective consciousness. So really, even if you just accept it, like, hey, I like that idea, I'll be the one that brings that through, that's also intuitive receiving as well. So hopefully that helps. In both cases, I think it's good to have energetic boundaries and know how to bring the information through. But with automatic writing, if you do it that way, you'll probably want to look up some posts. There's ways you can make sure you're connecting for the highest and greatest good. You want to always know like who is writing through you if you feel that someone's writing through you. And with intuitive writing, you also want the information to be pure. With intuitive writing, I think the biggest hang up can be your own ego and your own critical voices that you may have heard in childhood, or even from people now that say maybe like, who are you to do this, or why are you doing that? Doesn't make sense. Those voices can interfere with the intuitive writing. So getting clarity is always helpful. It's one of the things I teach my clients on how to be a clear channel so you receive the information, and especially if you're trying to bring through healing messages or things that are helpful for people, helpful for people, I can't say that. You want it to be a pure message. You don't want your own insecurities or limiting beliefs getting in the way if you haven't healed them yet, because then the message could be cloudy. So being a clear channel in either case is really important. But I just was thinking of that lately. I think most people don't know the difference between being an automatic writer and an intuitive writer, and nothing's wrong with either. It's a preference. It's just my preference happens to be the intuitive writing, where I'm mixing my energy with that higher information and bringing it through, acting like a channel versus stepping aside of my body in any way, shape, or form so that it can come through. Not to say that I might not change my mind someday and do something different, but for now, that's what I've spent a lot of years devoting my time to, is the intuitive writing. And I find it exciting and magical, and still brings through powerful messages, things that help even me in my life. When I have a problem, it'll help me solve the problem. I'll get information that I may not have had otherwise, maybe a larger perspective. And that is why, for me, I love intuitive writing, because I feel that it's something special and sacred, and even moves me forward in my life. So I do think we're creating some sort of alchemy when we do our intuitive writing, that we're doing more than we think. So it's been a great asset to my life. But for this video, I just wanted to bring up the difference between automatic writing and intuitive writing, so that if you feel called to be an intuitive writer, you start to head down that path and read posts about that. And if you feel called to do automatic writing, that's kind of the direction you head in to get more information about what you're doing when you do that. So that's it. Again, I'm Nicole Streichaz